Ad, and boy, this ad is a sizzler. It rips GOP candidate Governor Mitt Romney into tiny pieces and then stomps all over him on top of it. The ad is not from a competitor for the Republican nomination. The ad is from the Democratic National Committee.
From the creator of I'm Running for Office for Pete's Sake comes the story of two men trapped in one body, Mitt versus Mitt.
I will preserve and protect a woman's right to choose. The right next step is to see Roe v. Wade overturned.
Two Mitts willing to say anything.
We've put together an exchange, and the president's copying that idea. I'm glad to hear that.
Obamacare is bad news.
See it all at mittvmitt.com. The Democratic National Committee is responsible for the content of this ad.
Okay, so here's the curious thing. Why would the DNC release this ad now? Why not wait until after the Republicans pick their nominee and go after that nominee? Maybe it'll be Governor Romney. Jonathan Strong from Roll Call joins us. Jonathan, that ad was about as aggressive as I've seen. Why did the DNC do that?
Well, I think that they are really trying to define Mitt Romney from the get-go. Even during this primary campaign, the conventional wisdom is he's going to be the most difficult candidate for Obama to face in the general election. And additionally, Democrats are telegraphing a strategy of praising Newt Gingrich, trying to pump him up. So even if you don't succeed in defining Mitt Romney, you get to have him bloodied up in a primary fight with Gingrich, or potentially you have Gingrich, come out ahead because of this.
Everybody says that Governor Romney is the one that the Obama administration doesn't want to run against. I actually am suspicious whether it isn't really Speaker Gingrich. I mean, all Speaker Gingrich everything about him is out there in the public domain. There are no surprises. So he just goes, yeah, right, okay, when anyone confronts him with it. But Governor Romney has so many different problems, real problems, and I think it's funny, I actually think he's more vulnerable.
Well, the ad goes to his core weakness as a candidate, which is in his inconsistency on issues over the time. Now, in the ad, the extended ad is 4 minutes long. It's a web ad, and one of the examples of a flip-flop is misleading. And in other instances, Mitt Romney has a kind of plausible story about why he changed his mind on that issue. But when you add up the totality of all these things that he's switched on, it goes to the core of his character, of whether he really got into politics because he cares about changing the country, or if he was kind of a bored businessman. See,
it's funny, it's because I think that they should be more worried about Gingrich in general than Romney. I actually was suspicious whether or not this anti-Romney web ad was payback for something that Governor Romney did to President Obama about a week ago in an ad in which there was a misstatement in the ad. They played an ad and they say that President Obama said something, but if you really dig deep, it was President Obama quoting John McCain. So it's a little bit dirty, that ad, and I thought it was just payback.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little rich for the DNC, which got up on its high horse on that misleading Romney ad, which was, as you pointed out, misleading, to now issue this ad, which has its own misleading. And maybe it is retribution, like you say, but I think it's a little odd strategy to pump up Gingrich if you're more scared about running against him. If you look back in the 1990s, Newt Gingrich was a polarizing figure and allowed himself to be demonized by Democrats, and for that reason, I think that you have to say he probably would suffer, could possibly suffer the same fate if he were the general election candidate.
Except there's no surprises. I mean, it's not like there's an awful lot out there about him, good or bad or whatever, as everybody knows. I think that's the difference.
Yeah, we'll have to see how he does, because now that he's in the spotlight again, the surprise would be something he says now going forward.
Sort of interesting, these ads, these web ads don't cost a dime. I mean, they're cheap. They put them on, and then all of us in the media pick them up, and then we run them. So we essentially give them airtime.
Sure, and they create buzz. But in this case, the DNC is actually running these ads in battleground states as well.
So is this being done in Iowa?
I'm not sure about Iowa specifically, but I know there's at least about 7 to 10 states that this is running in.
Does the DNC worry about any other candidate besides Governor Romney?
Well, as far as we've seen their press releases and opposition research dumps and that sort of thing, they have a single-minded obsession with Mitt Romney so far from what's coming out of their shop.
Is that polling? I mean, have they gone out and polled to see whether Romney's the more potent candidate in the general election?
I mean, the polls, you pit the different candidates against Obama in the states where it matters, and so far the main thrust of the polls has been that Romney polls the best against Obama.
It's so interesting, though, the New Hampshire editorial. Governor Romney didn't get the nod from New Hampshire. Speaker Gingrich did, and on top of it, he has a home in New Hampshire. But then he got, I use the word insulted. He got insulted in the editorial. Romney did, because they said basically is that that they didn't know where he stood.
Huge victory for Gingrich, and this cuts at the very heart of Romney's strategy, which is to win hands down in New Hampshire. If Gingrich were able to defeat him here, in New Hampshire, that would be a big blow to Romney.
And of course, he's not spending much time. Romney isn't spending much time in Iowa. He's now picking it up a little bit.
They just said in a conference call that their strategy is to win Iowa. This is the first kind of admission they're making a play in Iowa, and the expectations are now going to rise.
Gingrich campaign confident, overconfident, and the Romney campaign overconfident or feeling shaky tonight?
I would say that Gingrich has got to be feeling great right now. Everything's been breaking his way in the last couple of weeks. Romney's campaign, they're a little bit looking at the changes in the field and thinking, we've got to adapt to this new scenario.
How about a Governor Palin endorsement? Anybody want that? Is that going to help a lot?
The buzz is that Gingrich is the front runner for the Palin endorsement, so we'll have to see how that plays out.
Does that matter?
There's a cadre of Republican voters that are very loyal to Governor Palin. I think that for them it would certainly matter.
I suspect that's a good fundraising. That's important for fundraising, sure. and certainly can use that.
She's somewhat of a polarizing figure. She has fierce opposition, but she has fierce loyalty with those people, so it would matter a lot for that.
Never dull. Never dull at all. Anyway, thank you, Jonathan.
Thanks very much.